Someone in your life is fighting right now, today, for money that will never be theirs. And the people who actually have that money are counting on them to keep doing it. That is not an accusation, that is a diagnosis. And by the end of this episode, you will be able to name exactly what is happening and why it is working so well on people who are genuinely smart. Welcome to the Sanity Project. I'm Alexandra Ives. This channel, and this podcast, exists for Canadians who are exhausted by the outrage machine. We don't do rage here, we do receipts. If this is your first episode, here is what we are about. We take the stories being twisted in your feed, and we read the fine print out loud. No spin, no fear, just facts, delivered straight. Before we go any further, if you are listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you found us, hit subscribe right now. It costs you nothing, and it means the next time we drop an episode, it lands directly in your feed without you having to go looking for it. You can also find us at thesanity.org. That is where the full blog posts of these episodes live, along with every source we cite, every claim, every number, all of it documented and linked. Now, let's talk about a graphic that broke the internet. A few weeks ago, a chart started making the rounds on social media. The title was simple: how much of a $1 million salary you keep after taxes. It lists countries side by side. It looked authoritative. It looked objective. It looked like data. Here is what it actually was. The list includes Dubai and Monaco, two places where you pay zero income tax and keep the full million. Sounds incredible. What the graphic quietly forgot to mention is that Monaco requires hundreds of thousands of dollars sitting in a local bank account just to be allowed to live there. It is not a tax system. It is a gated community with a flag. Then there is Switzerland. Looks great on the graphic. What the graphic does not show is that Switzerland has a wealth tax, not an income tax, applied every year to everything you own, your home, your savings, your investments. That part did not make the infographic. Then Vietnam, Bali, Indonesia. Also on this list, showing higher take-home pay than Canada. Comparing Canada's tax rate to Vietnam's, without comparing what those taxes actually fund, is like comparing two cars and forgetting to mention one of them doesn't have an engine. And that is the tell. This graphic is not a list of comparable countries. It is a curated collection of tax havens, European principalities, and emerging economies, lined up alongside Canada to make a single number look outrageous. That number is $80,000, the gap between what a millionaire keeps in the United States versus Canada. And that gap has an expiry date. I'll show you exactly when it expires, in a moment. This graphic was not designed to inform you. It was designed to make you angry. And it worked. Beautifully. Let's talk about that $80,000 American advantage, because that is the number that had Canadian comment sections absolutely on fire. In the United States, a serious illness, cancer, a cardiac event, major surgery, can cost between $500,000 and $1 million out of pocket. Even with private insurance, medical bankruptcy is one of the leading causes of personal bankruptcy in America. The Canadian millionaire in this comparison walks into any hospital in the country. No bill, no insurance claim, no GoFundMe page, no negotiating with a billing department from a hospital bed. That $80,000 gap does not just disappear when a serious illness hits. It flips entirely. And that is before we account for annual private insurance premiums, which run between $15,000 and $30,000 a year for a family in the United States. Canada's taxes fund universal health care, public pensions, employment insurance, emergency services, public education, infrastructure. The graphic listed countries and dollar amounts. It did not list what those dollars actually buy. That omission is not an oversight. That omission is the entire point. I want to tell you about someone I know personally. Good person, hardworking, genuinely struggling right now. Happy to have a roof over his head, covering rent month to month, watching every dollar carefully. Last week, he shared a post defending millionaire tax breaks, not sarcastically, earnestly, with a comment attached about government overreach and the importance of letting people keep what they earn. And I want to be very clear. He is not uninformed, he is not foolish. He is human. And that is exactly what they were counting on. John Steinbeck wrote something in 1966 that I want you to actually hear. Not skim, hear. He wrote, "People don't see themselves as poor. They see themselves as temporarily embarrassed millionaires." Say that again, slowly in your head. Temporarily embarrassed millionaires. Steinbeck wasn't describing ignorance. He wasn't describing stupidity. He was describing a belief so powerful, so carefully constructed, that it overrides self-interest, overrides lived experience, and overrides the numbers sitting right in front of you. My friend wasn't defending a millionaire's tax rate. He was defending the version of himself he believes he is about to become. And that hope, that belief, was sold to him, deliberately, at significant expense. Before we get to the psychology, and we are going there, I want to give you one number, the number that was deliberately left off the viral graphic, because it changes everything. According to the Canada Revenue Agency, less than 0.1% of Canadian tax filers earn $1 million or more per year. Not 1%, 0.1%. I want you to picture a room with 1,000 Canadians in it. Statistically, not a single person in that room earns $1 million in a year. Not one. The number rounds down to 0. Now picture the comments section under that viral graphic. Hundreds of people, furious, passionately defending millionaire tax rates. Almost none of them will ever earn $1 million in a single year. Not even close to it. They were not defending their money. They were defending an idea. And that idea was manufactured and distributed with extraordinary precision. Researchers have a name for what Steinbeck described: system justification theory. The human brain has a powerful, deeply wired need to believe that the system is fair, that success is earned, that the game is not rigged. Because the alternative is genuinely devastating. If the system is not fair, if success is not purely earned, then your struggles were not bad luck. They were by design. The game was tilted before you sat down. The brain does not want to accept that, so it rewrites the story. It finds evidence that the system works. It defends the rules of a game it believes it can still win. It protects the hope, even when the data directly contradicts it. That is not a character flaw. That is a survival mechanism. And it is extraordinarily useful to the people at the top of that system. Now here is where it gets genuinely dark. Researchers at the National Bureau of Economic Research studied something that initially does not make any sense at all. They wanted to know which income group most strongly opposes policies that help low-income Canadians. The answer is not the wealthy. The answer is the people just above the bottom. The people closest to the lowest rung of the ladder, they are statistically the most opposed to policies that raise the floor for the people below them. It is called last place aversion. And the logic, once you understand it, is genuinely uncomfortable. No matter how little someone has, there is almost always someone below them. And any policy that raises the floor for the people at the bottom feels like a direct threat, because the one thing they still have, the one small advantage that remains, is not being last. They are not voting against themselves out of stupidity, they are voting to protect the one rung they are still standing on. And the people who design the messaging around tax policy know this. They have always known this. This did not happen by accident. I want to walk you through exactly how this works, step by step, because once you see the pipeline, you cannot unsee it. It starts with corporate donors, large companies and ultra-wealthy individuals with a direct financial interest in lower tax rates for high earners. Those donors fund think tanks and lobby groups. The think tanks generate talking points that sound like common sense. Those talking points get distributed to partisan media networks. The networks turn them into content, articles, segments, opinion pieces. The content becomes viral graphics. The graphics flood your social media feed. And then you, a regular person, a working Canadian, end up in a comment section passionately defending a tax policy that has never benefited you and almost certainly never will. You became an unpaid lobbyist, without a meeting, without a salary, without even realizing the handoff happened. The message, repeated until it feels like your own opinion: the government is the enemy. Taxes are theft. The wealthy earned everything they have. And you could be next. None of those things are entirely true, but all of them are extraordinarily useful. Useful to the people who paid to have them repeated endlessly and expensively until they felt like common sense. Here's the thing. They do not need you to be uninformed. They do not need you to be foolish. They do not need you to be careless or gullible or unsophisticated. They only need you to be human, to want to believe the system is fair, to want to believe your situation is temporary, to want to believe that one lucky break could change everything. That hope is real. That desire is real. And it is being used against you with precision. The first step out of it is not anger. It is not cynicism. It is not deciding the whole system is broken and nothing matters. The first step is simply knowing the machine exists, recognizing the pipeline when you see it, reading the fine print on the graphic before you share it. That is it. That is the whole move, and it is enough to change the conversation, one person at a time. My friend, the one defending a group of which he will never be a part, is a perfect example. He is not foolish. He is a person who was handed a story that felt true, the same story millions of Canadians were handed. I genuinely feel sorry for him as he rages against the government. The answer is not to argue with him. The answer is to plant a seed. Share this episode with one person in your life who you think might be ready to hear it. Not to fight, just to think. That is what the Sanity Project is for. We don't do rage, we do receipts. And the receipts, every source cited in this episode, are waiting for you at thesanity.org. If you got something from this episode, subscribe wherever you are listening right now. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music. Hit follow so the next episode finds you automatically. I'm Alexandra Ives for the Sanity Project, where reason beats rage and facts beat fear.
If you want more facts and less fear, hit subscribe. Check out the next breakdown wherever you're listening or watching. Stay sane, Canada.